Hi everyone, I am Sister Pramila Almeida from the congregation of the Sisters of St. Charles Borromeo. I feel grateful and humbled as I not only recount but also witness to the sacred story of God's faithfulness in my life. Yes, the journey of my religious call wasn't something like an overnight decision. Rather, it was a journey of testing times with a call to trust in the words of the Lord who said in Jeremiah 29:11, "For surely I know the plans I have for you, plans for your welfare and not for harm, to give you a future with hope." Today, I feel so blessed when I look at the wonderful ways God has faithfully fulfilled His plans in and through me. I've been fortunate enough to grow up in a loving Catholic family in Mangalore with pious parents who daily knelt beside their children with arms outstretched while at family prayer, a loving grandmother who would sit on a sofa reciting rosaries and chanting hymns, three loving brothers in whose company I grew up. I strongly believe that the seeds of my vocation to religious life were unconsciously sown here. I remember praying the prayer for religious vocation as part of family prayer, invariably every day since I was in fifth grade, which continues even to this day. Little did my parents realize that God was answering their prayer by inviting their only daughter to be His own. However, one might think it must have been easy to communicate to my parents about this calling that I powerfully sensed while in 10th grade. It so happened that the school had arranged special classes for students of 10th, and on one of those days there was an ordination to priesthood and a religious profession in the parish church. Since the school was in church campus, I, along with my cousin and friends, decided to miss the class and attend the religious ceremony, knowing fully well that we will have to face the consequences of our action, which we were not spared. But I strongly believe that it is in this context that I personally felt the Lord was calling me to. Yes, I was definitely confused and equally hesitant to talk about all of this because all the fears of a 16-year-old girl were still there, and being the only girl, I knew my parents had lots of dreams for my future. I kept silent about it all, got involved in church activities through Legion of Mary. I passed out my 10th grade, got to know my results from my friend while in Chennai holidaying with my family, and I saw my father making all arrangements over a phone call to seek admission for my further studies. Though I strongly felt the desire within me to pursue my religious vocation, I did not take a chance to discuss it with my parents. I got enrolled in PU college by early June, but one thought kept dominating most of the time. If not now, then it may never happen. When these struggles kept popping up time and again, I believe God intervened. On one morning, while we were at prayer, I was surprised to see two sisters from the Sisters of St. Charles Borromeo, a congregation unheard of then in my town. Sister narrated that the parish priest had directed her here, but with little hopes, saying, "She is the only daughter." I consider this as the kairos moment of my calling. God was working in surprising and most fulfilling ways. Yes, we sat and discussed. I expressed my decision to my parents and sensed their pain and doubts, in the many excuses they placed. What did you lack in this house that you want to go away? This was the first expression of my grandmother, while my father came up with an option that I spend some days in the convent in Mangalore, see the life of sisters before I really made it to Bangalore for formation. I agreed, but with a condition that my brother accompanied me as I had never left home alone. Yes, I found myself in a convent, but with my brother and Sister Louisa, then superior, whose enthusiasm and passion to draw me to Jesus I felt was much greater than my own. I guess this is one of the key experiences that confirmed a sense of my calling, and I made my choice. Yes, this is where I belong. Though I didn't fully understand then what I was committing myself to, I know I had a sense of inner peace and hope and courage to move on. It was very painful for me to see my parents, grandmother, and brothers all crying in the convent, and I even saw my mother almost collapsing, and sisters immediately attended to her. But I was determined. While I was a novice, the Lord kept testing me again. My parents visited me unannounced as they wanted me to discontinue my formation because my brothers also had pursued religious vocation. It was either me continuing in the novitiate or my second brother making his entry to the novitiate in a religious community. I firmly believe the Lord knew the plans He had for me, and as much as I stood firm on my decision, I felt the strong support of my formators who equally made every effort to convince my parents. I believe this was definitely God's doing in my life. Most of my years as a religious have been in the ministry of formation, accompanying the young. Trust me, saying, on this path I have witnessed the unfolding of God's plan in most unique and marvelous ways, both in my own life and in the lives of so many young girls who have pursued God's call in the congregation of the Sisters of St. Charles Borromeo. Like me, to some of you this congregation might appear quite new, but it is 336 years old with its humble beginning in Belgium in the year 1684. It was born in compassion for the poor, the ignorant and deprived. Today, after 3 centuries and more, it has flourished and branched out, bearing the fruits of compassion through education, healthcare, social, pastoral and youth apostolate in India, Belgium, Tanzania, Uganda, Argentina, Poland, Italy, Mexico, Switzerland, yes, across the globe. As you hear me, do you sense a glimpse of that plan of God for you? Are you eager to devote your life to God as an ambassador of God's compassion? Then I guess the congregation of the Sisters of St. Charles Borromeo is the perfect place where God is calling you to join hands with Him for a mission of compassion. To know more about us, kindly log on to our website www.stcharlesbangalore.org or contact us, Vocation Promoter, Villa Borromeo, 44/1 Hutchins Road, 2nd Cross, St. Thomas Town, Bangalore 560084. Call us on 080-2547-3003. Thank you and God bless you.